Rising from the sun-baked desert like a riddle carved into the earth, wind hums through the ruins, carrying whispers of forgotten sentinels who once watched over the land, now barren and still. This Native American hilltop fort seems impossibly out of place amid the endless wilderness. Why was a fortress built in such a desolate place? Protection, ceremony, or something far more enigmatic? No answer comes easily, only the haunting sense that the desert itself remembers. Hello. It's part 2 of my hilltop fortress adventure. It's part 2 because I was going to visit 2 hilltop fortresses in one day, but it turned out to be a little too hot for me. So I've come back another day and I'm visiting the second place. That should be even more interesting, I think, because I could find out less about it online. I'm hiking up to a sort of crescent or C-shaped mountain. It almost looks like a volcano that blew its top and half the sides flew out or something. But I'm going up here, up to the top, and then all along this ridge line. And as it curves around, somewhere up there, I'm going to find a fort that's, I think, mostly a wall, but has a few rooms and should be pretty well intact. Like I said, I couldn't find much online on it, and I found it just by scouring Google Maps. So I'm curious to see what it's going to actually be. And it's one of 4 hilltop fortresses that are all connected visually. The other one this one's connected to is right over here, and that's part 1 I visited. I also visited a third of the 4 hilltop forts previously, and I'll put a link down below for that. And I'm hoping to visit the third, which is somewhere on the other side of these mountains over here, that one can see around the corner. It's pretty fascinating to think how they might have communicated, the Native Americans, back in the day to warn of danger, or I don't know, anything I suppose, but I'm guessing mostly danger. Anyways, come with me. I'm gonna hike up this thing. It's already quite hot today, but come with me and we'll check it out. Today we'll explore a Native American hilltop fort that begs the question, who built this and why? The northern extent of the Hohokam culture in the Phoenix Basin remains a subject of active debate among archaeologists. While the Hohokam heartland is well defined along the Salt and Gila rivers, the question of how far north their influence reached is less certain. Scholars continue to investigate where Hohokam cultural traits transition into those of neighboring groups who occupied the uplands beyond the basin. Some researchers argue that the Hohokam extended their settlements and agricultural systems into the northern foothills of the Phoenix Basin. Evidence such as pottery, canal remnants, and habitation sites suggest that these areas may have served as a northern outpost connected to the Hohokam core. In this view, the Hohokam adapted to new environments to expand their agricultural reach or maintain seasonal communities that linked the desert lowlands with upland resources. Others contend that these northern findings represent areas of interaction rather than true Hohokam expansion. Distinctive architecture and smaller-scale irrigation systems imply cultural blending instead of colonization. This perspective sees the northern edge of the Salt River Valley as the practical limit of the Hohokam settlement, beyond which influences from neighboring peoples dominated. The debate highlights the complexity of defining ancient cultural boundaries, suggesting that the Hohokam frontier was fluid and shaped by trade, environment, and shared traditions rather than clear-cut borders. Looks like a solar panel or 2 are set up here. Little power box goes over to this, and that's a well. That would have gone down quite a ways with a pump down there sucking up the energy, sucking up the water, coming out here to probably fill some tank, probably for cattle. But you can see this is no longer in use. The electrical box is cleaned out, the panels are gone, and it looks like there's another well hole over here where there might have been another one. Well, we came in right down here on this dirt road, and about here we started getting some real elevation gain. And we're going up this hill, just full of different kinds of cactus, mostly jumping cholla, acatillo, and some barrel cactus and the saguaros. But we're heading up the hill to this top ridge up here that's going to go all the way over to a way over here that'll curve around. So wish me luck on this up part. It's hot and dry, but shouldn't take too long to get up there. And I'm going to zigzag a bit so it's not going to be as steep as it could be. See all the little tufts that fall off? It's made to break away so they can attach to your sock or your pant leg and go right along with you on your hike and end up somewhere else. Ouch! So here's the ridge we're working our way up to. Probably connect with it about right here. Then I'd like to follow along the ridge line with a cool view on each side as it curves around to the right like a big crescent. Taking a quick break before reaching the ridge line. It's not far now, right there. It looks really close, but as I get closer, it gets a little bit steeper. So as close as it looks, it sure doesn't feel that way. But we've come quite a ways up and not far to go. Well, I made it up to the ridge line of this crescent-shaped mountain. It starts over here. It comes all the way down where I'm standing and wraps around here, going around there. And somewhere along the ridge line here, I'm going to look for a Native American ruin. I've been working my way along this ridge line and came up, I think, right over here, and coming along, it looked pretty easy from below, and I didn't think it'd be hard, but man, I'm tired enough that it's really a lot of work, and it's a lot more up and down than expected. But at this point, we can see the first little bit of the ruins right there. Little stacked stone over that ridge line. Getting closer. Wow, look at this. This is amazing. Look how tall this is. Boy, can't even reach how high that is. Wow. Wow, look at this. Boy, this is quite a large area. You can see a wall over here running in a big circle all the way around way over to there. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot within the wall. But let's continue to explore. Well, it looks like there's a good sized room over here. As you can see, clearly defined doorway over here. The wall runs all the way around. So it looks like there was a structure here in the middle. Maybe a little fire pit over here. Kind of hard to tell. And then just a big loop, which is pretty amazing. It doesn't seem like there was much of a village up here. Don't see a lot of individual rooms or living spaces. And maybe this could have been a place of refuge in time of danger, and also a place to see the other high points around here and connect with the other settlements up on top of mesas and other high points, such as that one right over there. That's had a village on it. That's where the part one of this took place. And I'm sure there were, if we look enough, we might find more watchtower somewhere over there, I think. Or maybe over there on that big ridge, connecting whatever is on the other side of that with this side. I know there's a lot of debate on whether this was built as a defensive thing or more of a ceremonial place. And it's hard to tell. It's really a lot of work to do for just a ceremonial place. I'm not sure why you'd need these walls for ceremony. And it seems an awful lot of work. These are very thick walls, you can see. They're made in the typical design where they're Big stones on the outside, a bunch of small stones filling the center of it. But really interesting how there's just this one sort of room here within the wall perimeter. It makes you wonder what they were so worried about to cause all this construction so high up. I think there's a lot of theories that around the 12th century, a drought created a lot of social turmoil. Resources became thin and people became pretty crazy, as they do when they get low on food. So I wouldn't be surprised if the lower land communities might start raiding the communities at a higher elevation that had more moisture and therefore more food available to them. And these were built in times of raids. No, I'm just speculating. I don't think anyone really knows, certainly not me. But look how tall this is. Seems like an awful lot of work. Wow, this sure has been a fascinating location to check out. Glad you guys could come with me. It's pretty darn hot up here, and I wouldn't suggest anyone else being up here with me right now because it is warm. It's about a little over 2 miles to get back to the car, which isn't bad as it's all downhill, but it's a hot, hot Arizona day. But I'm sure glad I got to see this cool hilltop fortress, and kind of unique because it doesn't seem to have any living quarters or much living quarters to it. Not so much a community as a watchtower, an actual, you know, place to see danger before it gets to you. It's awfully high. It's the highest thing around here, single point wise, that is. But man, it sure is a good view from up here and a fascinating architectural bit of history to think about. Anyways, thanks a lot for coming along with me. Look forward to seeing you guys again. Take care.
Thank you.